All right, looks like we're live. Hopefully, you guys are having a great Sunday afternoon. We just wrapped up. We're live. You guys should be able to see the stream here. Just wrapped up a round of golf before we close out the weekend here, sun setting. And I wanted to jump in with a quick look at D Wave. I could hear myself. Let me make sure that you guys don't hear me. There you go. And if you guys want to get ahead before market open, we're going to do some analysis here. And also, if you want to catch us live and be there at the bell, then we just reopened lifetime access. And it's the second link below if you're ready to join us. Would encourage you guys simply take a look. So, QBTS, couple things. I think that right now, a lot of people are pretty bullish on QBTS, and we've been pretty bullish on it really back here since October. We saw it go from $1 a share up to about $11 a share. Market sold off pretty tremendously. Hey, what's up? What's up, guys? Xavier, Nix, Derek, what's up, Beno? You made 3,500 with that D-Wave trade? Hey, let's go. Someone says, very nervous about D-Wave. Haven't sold any. Marty says, always worth stopping what I'm doing to listen. Hey, I appreciate that, Marty. Hey, happy to have you here. Worth stopping to read your messages, I'll tell you that. Today is May 11th, Houston, Texas, real-time stamp, 10:50 p.m. Let's do some real analytics and do not delete it. Is that what you said? Sometimes it goes from here to our members only. So sometimes these live streams go and then they're in members only. But if you're watching it here on YouTube and you got it, cool. Ryan Holmes, awesome. Happy to have you here. So again, we watched it go from $1 a share, and we were trading it. We invested in it. Some of our best trades in 2024 was leading up to here, end of December. And then the market dipped significantly. We ended up going to CES to meet some of the Nvidia staff. We got to meet in IBM, and we got to go see firsthand. Then it recovered fully, this quantum computing company, and then it recently sold off. And you know what, you guys know what we did is we actually went to the conference. I don't know if you guys know this. I could actually find the video. I could search. I don't know if it's qubits, maybe. There it is. We went to the conference, and if I click on this video, I'm pretty sure it'll show maybe us talking with the CEO. So we've gone deep. We've really gone deep, and we noticed they just reported earnings. Now, here's the deal. The problem is that D-Wave has surged so high up to this $11.50 price point again, and it's at this resistance. Okay, so I want you guys to just take a look here with me. Bear with me as I know there are some bulls on QBTS. You need to know this. Resistance here at 1150 or $12 resistance there, and that's where it is right now. If you look on the RSI, you look on the MACD, it's very overextended. It's shot up to $11.50. And here's the other thing. When it comes to the outlook for QBTS, they have really great marketing, and I'm all for capitalizing on some of these swings. But as I told you, I've seen it firsthand. I got to go meet with the company. I got to go to the conference. I got to meet the companies they're working with. I got to meet the CEO. I got to meet the engineers. I got to meet their marketing. I've seen it firsthand. I know what's going on. And here's what I could tell you. There's something that you should know about D-Wave and why it might not just continue to rocket up, and why you might want to consider, if you're in a trade and you're happy with some of your returns, to maybe scale down a position as it just surged 70% or what have you. And this is, my take on it, to then maybe look for a pullback and realize this. When they were comparing the quantum performance of computers to classical computers, in their marketing and in their presentations, it looked like their computers are 10 times better, a million times better than classical computers. That's what it looked like. But here's where it can be misleading. And this is why I personally am not all in, because like I said, I had one mission. I went deep. I went to the conferences. I had one mission to, when going to speak with this company and see what they were all about. And it was, are the benchmarks that they're using to measure their quantum computers as being supremacy, quantum supremacy, or the best computers in the entire world that are 10 times better than anything else, and they're the best computers, to look at the benchmarks they compared to classical computer. They didn't specify what type of classical computer they were benchmarking. And this is a very fine line in a gray area, not to say that they're lying, but to say that they weren't giving you all of the truth. And this is how I see it. And look, I could be 100% totally wrong, and you guys could look, I could be absolutely totally off. You might say, Will, you're an idiot for going against D-Wave or what have you, whatever. I hear you. I know there's a lot of bulls on the stock. And look, I started covering it before anybody. We were about at $1 a share when I started covering the stock. Okay. It's not like okay. Anyway, but at the same time, what we found is that, for example, if they're comparing their quantum computer to GPUs or to a classical computer, and they're saying, look how much better it is on how the processing power was. And then they're not saying how many clusters they were, how many GPUs were powering the classical computer, what was the RAM of the classical computer, or what have you. And then saying we're so much better. To me, it was like, whoa, 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 ring, 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 ring in my mind. What are they actually comparing to? And they never went back and went to the specs of the classical computer that they were comparing it to. Do you see how that could be maybe not lying, but not showing you the whole truth for how powerful the quantum, and that it is not quantum like ions going, but it's quantum annealing, which is like they have their own microchip, which could be looking similar to GPUs. And you got to ask, what can it do that GPUs cannot do? And then the question was and so obviously they're saying, well, we could do so much more than GPUs, faster and more. But when they showed a test and they were showing how to use their software, and they were showing different use cases with variables, and they would show these projects, I'll give you a sample project. How many cars have different exhaust, a different color, a different window shade, a different door color, and a different logo, and there's the GTS, and there's the GT, there's all these variables, right? And all of these variables, and then they calculate which ones need service and when they'll need service and what parts they need. And when I was looking at it, it wasn't revolutionary to me. I was looking at it and I was saying, I could see GPUs doing this. So there wasn't anything specifically that I saw that they were accomplishing that couldn't be solved with GPUs. And look, I love futuristic tech. As you guys know, we cover tech stocks and AI stocks exclusively. And I see someone saying, I see what you mean. Kind of got what I mean there. But how many of you guys saw like what Jensen was saying about quantum computing? It kind of hurt the market. Obviously, it crashed the market. People were not happy with Jensen, the CEO of Nvidia. He said quantum computers are 10, 15 years away. But when he was talking about it recently, he said, I failed to see something that these quantum computers are doing or will do that we are currently not able to do at our capacity fairly efficiently. And a lot of people didn't like him for saying that, but that was the reality. How many of you guys saw that at NVIDIA GTC? So you have to look at that with some, I'm not going to discredit what this multi-billion dollar, the most valuable company in the world. You have a CEO who's been studying data centers and building data centers and helping build GPUs and semiconductors and all that for years, 20 years. And if he's saying something like that, I feel like I feel like he's just being honest. Is it possible he's saying, I don't want competition? It's possible. There is that us versus they story, but he didn't approach it that way. And so when we went to QBTS, a lot of the narrative was us versus them. They were using that us versus them story. Look, that's fine, but realize, um, like I'm here, I share with you guys very valuable information, or that I find valuable about different companies, whether it's quantum or space or AI, or maybe it's defense, or it's green energy or nuclear or something like that. I'm sharing with you guys these companies, and I'm getting all the information for you, and I'm doing the best that I can do to get you guys the best information so that you can make good decisions and confidently see the full intrinsic value of companies and trade them, and see different value gaps where things are oversold and you can buy and you can make money, or see when things are overextended and sell, or do puts and make money. And that's what I do. But have you ever heard me really get into the marketing of telling you guys things that persuade you to watch my channel versus other channels, or persuade you to only listen to me? Or do I sit here and say all the other people on YouTube that make videos about stocks are not legit? I mean, yeah, I could sit here and tell you guys that forever, right? You guys know there's a lot of people on YouTube that make videos, they don't cover, like, they're just hyping stuff up and they don't actually do research. You've seen it. But my point is, you don't hear me try and persuade you guys to be subscribers of my channel by introducing us versus them. It's us versus them. And I say, the big banks, all the big banks and institutions and the rich people, they don't want you to know this. And I tell you some trading strategy. I don't do that with you guys because I'm pretty transparent with you guys about, if it's valuable, it will be valuable for you. If there's something specifically we find that big banks or institutions are hiding, or there's a stock that's being manipulated, yeah, we're going to share that with you. But you kind of get what I mean, right? So what I'm saying is, the marketing on QBTS was very much related to us versus them. Jensen said this, and some person said that we're 10, 15 years away, and that guy, you guys know, and it created this hatred type of thing. And that's a really good way to build a really strong following of a stock or of your company. It's a really good way, but it's also slightly manipulative, right? Because it's like us versus them. Sometimes it works because it's like a really straight up cause. But you just gotta, there's fine lines there, and sometimes you gotta look at it and say, is this person trying to really get me in their pendulum of energy because they are trying to do us versus them, psychology? And so there's a lot of psychology that goes in the marketing of this company QBTS, and you might be buying it and be like, it's going to the moon, and it goes up to 1150, and you're like, I'm on this train and it's gonna go to $20 now. But the reason that I made this video and why I wanted to show you guys this breakdown and this resistance, but also just kind of shed some light, is to urge some caution. If you just recently bought QBTS, or you're looking at it from a perspective of putting all your eggs in one basket, or just realize, like, if you were writing it down, or if you've been down on it and it's gone up and you're happy with the returns you've seen right now, the goal in investing is not to lose money, right? That's the last thing you want to do. Number one rule, don't lose money. Number two, follow number one, right? Do not lose money. That's like the number one thing. So, if you're up and you're doing well, just consider that. All right, Matt says, bought a small position at $10 a share. Yeah, I mean, you're up over 10% or 15%. That's great. Fabio's, he admitted to being wrong, and no doubt it's early technology, but QBTS is now for supply chains, and IonQ is slowly building a monopoly for quantum. Also, when the markets crashed, Jensen said about 30 years out. No, he didn't say 30 years out. Yeah, I mean, we could pull up the comment, but I think he said 15 or 10 to 15. I mean, we could pull it up. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see what he said. 15. He said 15 to 30. So 30 was mentioned, but he said 15 to 30. So I guess we're both on the same page there. 15 to 30. You're right. And so when we're looking at the financials of QBTS, they recently secured a contract that was the Germany contract with Hewlett. Is that how you say it? And I got to speak with them. They purchased a quantum computer from D-Wave, and I want to say that it was a very expensive buy. Let me see how much of their revenue and financials were attributed to that purchase. Okay. Let's see. Ulich, and then they have one in Alabama. Let's see. Japan and Ulich purchase. This was it. This was a large portion of their revenue. And they don't say how much they paid for it. So maybe we can ask. All right, let's see. It was not publicly disclosed. But it's possible that it was a very large amount of their revenue. Now, I'm not a bear completely in the 10 to 18 month range. It's possible, but I'm not extending my horizon of bullishness outside of that 6 month to 18 month range. So that's something we got to look at when it comes. But here's the other thing: if you see a pullback and we start to see swings that are back down at the resistance, and we start to see bounces up, that could look very good as well. And then, yeah, Fabio corrects her. Yeah, exactly. How many of you guys feel like QBTS in the near term has more room to run, and that you're in it because you believe you're going to make more money? That's, I want to know how many of you guys believe it's got more room to run right now, and that this is not an overextension. And I'm just going to see exactly how much was that. How much was the recent push up on the info line? It was a 75% increase in about 4 days. How many of you guys believe it's not done, it's going to keep going, and you think it's going to keep making money? I want to know. What do you guys think? Someone says, Will, can you buy a quantum computer and tell us if it's worth it? Yeah, let's see. Let me just head on over to Rigetti. And how much is one of these things? How much is one of these things anyways? Let's go with the Novera. Order yours. All right, let's start the application, I guess. We might just have to do we might just have to do some analysis. They got like a 30-day return policy, right? All right. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, we just submitted it. So it says, thanks for going quantum. Somebody's going to give me a call here soon. All right, so I'll let you guys know on how that call goes. All right, QBTS, no other bookings for current year, and they have not communicated any figures. That was the reason why I was saying when we were looking at the financials just a second ago there. That's why I'm saying that it could be a freak quarter. That's why I'm saying, like, just from a perspective of their revenue, it's possible that this was because of one sale. Because if you have one sale and it was a $15 million system, yeah, it's like, okay, they could sell more systems. But here's the thing. This is really important. If Ulich comes out with some big breakthroughs in Germany because they have their system, that would make virality for D-Wave. But here's what's happened in the past, right? And I'm not just like, this is just what's happened. They announced years ago a partnership with MasterCard. This was 3 years ago, almost to the date. And D-Wave and MasterCard take a leap into quantum. After this article, there was no more mention of any impact or anything or any revenue as a result of this. So they partnered with MasterCard. Nothing happened for 3 years. Then they partnered with Boeing recently. And Boeing, at least at the conference, when we were there, they were talking and they had said that so far they hadn't had any results and that they hadn't seen any progress around seeing shifts in how they run their business or any direct impact from partnering with D-Wave recently to see how they can help Boeing. So Boeing at that time hadn't seen any results. So we'll see how those results play out. But we have to watch because like MasterCard, to me, that was a huge partnership and they haven't had any news come out related to it. So, but they still are saying it. They say, you know, we're still partnered with them, but there's no mention. There's no mention of it. So just gotta keep that in mind. And then, okay, Ryan says Rigetti. Yeah, we can take a look there. Fabio, think they do in the next 12 months. They need to prove that their partnerships with their supply chains are translating to meaningful revenue. Exactly. So that was a conversation that Boeing said. Boeing said, okay, great. We're partnered with QBTS. So the company recently partnered with Boeing, and Boeing said, we haven't seen results yet. Yeah, and then says, basically gambling on if quantum will beat the 15-year time frame. Someone says, I think that's Matt. Yeah, Matt says that. Nice, Matt. Hey, Will, says Brown Eyes. What's up, man? Happy to have you here. What do you think about Rigetti? Yeah, we can take a quick look. Okay, so that's kind of the deal with D-Wave. Right, so right now they look very overextended. Some of you guys didn't really say anything. You said it looks like a lot of people are very happy. So this is what Marty says. Smart traders are extremely happy with the 50% return and are expecting a pullback, ultimately making a pullback inevitable, but you never really know. Agree, advised, caution. Okay, yeah, I'd feel the same way, right? So to buy right now, to me, would be like way more risk than reward. That's the way I would see it. So even if their recent partnerships or their recent financials that they came out with are legit, like totally legit, this is now their new baseline of 15 million in revenue per quarter. You know, that puts them at let's just call it 15 times 4, $60 million per year in revenue. And that means $60 million a year in revenue. And they have a market cap of 3.2 billion. So that valuation wouldn't hold up, right? So that the valuation wouldn't make sense given their revenue or even their net income, because their net income was still negative, right? Negative 5.4 million. So just to look at the market cap and where they are, it just seems like there's more risk, and that's why you want to urge caution. Could it continue up? Yeah, it could. It's holding above the EMA. It's looking like really hyper bullish right now, but it's at this resistance. They just had a lot of hype after their earnings, and it could make sense that it sells down. If it does sell down, it's possible it does what it did last time. It sells all the way down to this $5 or $6 range. So I would find it to be much more risky right now. And for that reason, I won't be buying it. Cool. So that's everything you need to know about QBTS. And then when it comes to Rigetti stock, Rigetti has been on a really nice uptrend recently. Rigetti is the one that hasn't gone out and said, we're crushing it. We're doing really good in our marketing and everything. They've actually taken a much more conservative approach. They have a lot of students from Cal Berkeley that work there, and their students are really, really smart. They have some of the smartest people in the world. They've been consolidating from left to right. You see the support and resistance level pushing up above that EMA. One thing to note is Rigetti has not made a full recovery. So if it does make a recovery. Right now is a key level for it to break up above. It's at a resistance right there at 1140, so it's possible it sells down. You also have, but if it does sell down, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to continue up. Rigetti is also in this trend right now recently where it's starting to have this support and resistance right here, and it's starting to make its way out. So there's this break above, but there's also this resistance. So that's something you got to watch. So we're gonna really have a close eye on it at market open tomorrow. If it breaks up above here, I would imagine it's gonna be potentially a nice recovery, because this is the type of recovery you'd look for with Rigetti, which is 75% run. Could it happen? It could. We'll have to just watch it closely. We do have some positions in Rigetti. I was actually a while back, I think it was, we were trading here. I helped my dad actually get into Rigetti. He had a nice trade, and then I think he bought back in somewhere here around $10 or $11 after riding it from $8 up to $11, and then he got back in, and then it's now back up to his purchase price, and so he's probably watching it closely to see if it breaks above there. So definitely going to be watching Rigetti very closely for that reason. But also because like we just submitted to get a Rigetti quantum computer, and let's see how it is talking to them on the phone. Wouldn't that be wild if we actually like get a quantum computer? That would be crazy. Okay. What's the best stock for a first timer? For if you're just getting started, I would encourage you just like either paper trade or start with just $100 and practice identifying patterns, practice seeing the way that the market moves, and practice managing risk and planning your trades, how to have a trading plan. That's really important if you're just getting into trading. Paul says, what's the chance Rigetti soars tomorrow? It's interesting. We'll see how the whole market reacts. Semiconductor is really on a nice run recently. Quantum's looking pretty good as well. So if it does, I'm excited at market open tomorrow. If you guys ever want to join us, second link in the description. There's that lifetime access sale, and we'll be going live at market open. And right now, we just reopened lifetime access for a limited time. If you guys want to join us there, again, it's that second link below. We got some stock mates in there, and you can see our daily live trading. Fabio says, think another thing the chat needs to know in regards to quantum. Fabio says, D-Wave focuses on annealing quantum, whereas Rigetti, IBM, and Google are gate-based quantum. IonQ is ion trapped. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, those are good things to know. Checked in. Cool. Awesome. And so beginning stocks for a beginner. If you're just getting started, what I might encourage you to grab, we send this out to our email list every once in a while, but let me see. Maybe I can get you guys a look at this. But basically, one of our books that we have, just the profitable trader book. I think I can drop it into this and show you guys what that looks like. Boom, there we go. Can you guys see that? Are you guys able to see? Okay, can you see this book? Can you guys see that? Hopefully you guys see that. But this is a book. Yeah, this is a book we give out to all of our stock mates, but also I'm considering doing some sort of public thing. But it's free for stock mates, and it's also free for anybody in quarterly or lifetime. But basically this book, it goes into, like, we kind of have these breakdowns, right? It's about 11 chapters. I put it together, but it really talks about like how like people that trade that don't really understand what they're doing, they're just trying to enter trades. They're just trading for the sake of trading. Whereas the profitable approach, there's not pump and dumps, there's no FOMO, it's not emotional. There is a plan, and you're patient, and the stock meets your criteria. And a lot of that comes down to just these things. So I kind of go through it in this book. If you ever want it, it's free inside of StockMate. We also have trading plan examples of what that looks like. I mean, you guys could take a screenshot if you want to. And then one of the biggest things in trading as a beginner that you're going to want to study is emotional IQ. Spend a lot of time talking about it, but emotional discipline, like sticking to your plan, that's like one of the biggest things, because the consistency of doing that is meaning that you're having minimal losses and larger wins. So we kind of go into it, even talk about how to like make your office and like really make things comfortable. And we talk about also some practices of just employee versus business owner versus self-employed and entrepreneurs. That's like the rich dad poor dad approach. And we talk about leverage as well. So different types of leverage that you can do. So anyway, I wrote this book a while back. I think it was pretty helpful. If you guys ever want it, again, it's you can always join StockMates, and would love to get it over to you. But at the same time, we have a ton of resources on YouTube. So if you ever need extra support or questions, you can shoot me a message anytime. But let me, like, if you guys want it, let me just drop the link or I don't even have, I might be able to get the link for you guys. I know it's in StockMate, but let me go ahead and get that for you guys. Let's see. If you guys want, how many of you guys want the book? How many of you guys want me to drop the book in the chat? Do you guys want the book? Who wants the book? How many of you guys want a book on how to trade profitably? For free. I'll drop it to you. Yeah, so every time I'm feeling like stressed out investing or feeling like things are getting kind of chaotic, it usually comes down to just taking a little bit of extra time to plan, to check the emotions, and make sure those are in the right place. And then to also rebalance a little bit and make sure that the portfolios are in a place where you're not over leveraged, or that you're in trades that make you uncomfortable. Like that should really never happen. So usually it comes down to that. So that's a big part. I think, let's see. Yeah. So we will be going live on Thursday. If you guys want to join us on Thursday, we're also doing a free virtual stock trading class. So if you guys are eager to learn the ins and outs of stock trading on Thursday, if you guys want to join us, then we'll be doing that on Thursday. His Porsche stocks goods for trading because I love cars. Man, I love cars too. I just got a GTS recently, and I'm spending more time on it, honestly, than I should. Cool. All right, I just sent over a link there for you guys for the book. It's there. And yeah, feel free to check that out. Go ahead and send it. And then if you guys enjoy the book, just know you come back to this YouTube channel. If you want to be there at Market Open, the value is that we trade AI stocks and quantum stocks every single day, Monday through Friday. We'll be going live at Market Open. So again, if you want to be there tomorrow, we're going to be trading these stocks, including Rigetti, QBTS. Second link in the description to join. Appreciate you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night. And I hope you have an awesome week. Let's make sure to have a profitable one. And also we get the weekly watch list in there as well, and StockMates, and a free t-shirt. So just keep that in mind. But one of the hidden benefits I think is that people get to see my entries and my exits and actually kind of see how we balance the portfolio and stuff like that. That's one of the hidden benefits. Um, yeah, my GTS, it's uh, actually it's like a silver, but um, I just got like I just got off a consult yesterday with a guy that's helping me. And again, I'm like putting, I've spent so much time to do it very economically because I'm not someone that's like super materialistic, but I do like cars. And so found this guy that's really great, super good at wrapping, and we're gonna be wrapping it like this pearl white with like a dark black tint. That's gonna be cool. Anyway, the reality is those are just some of the things that having hobbies can be good. So that's one of the things that we do outside of YouTube. We also like to travel, spend some time. We recently gone to Kauai. We went to, I got to go to Colombia this past year. Got to go to Argentina with my wife. Got to go, lived in Miami for a bit, and then we have gone to Boulder. I went to lived in Boulder for a little bit, but then also went to Denver, and then went Denver again for the space symposium here when I got to meet Rocket Lab and get this pass for SpaceX and meet some of the space companies there. So that was cool. And then actually part of that, I don't know if you guys know this, but we entered a trade on Rocket Lab on Friday. Yeah, it's up $213 on Friday. Right after earnings, we entered that trade. So Rocket Lab, we got a trade going there. We might sell that at market open, or we might double down. I haven't really decided. We'll see how it's looking. And it's Mother's Day. You got like one last chance to send your mom a text. You got one last chance. Now make sure to, like, writing letters is like the best. I feel like if I was a mom, I probably want some. Anyway, guys, appreciate you go. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're almost at 100K subscribers. We're almost at 20,000. So appreciate you all. Appreciate all the support. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks so much. And I'll see you guys in the next video. If I earned your thumbs up, smash that like button. It's a live session, so it does make a difference. And do consider subscribing if you're just tuning in for the first time. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.